Once trapped in a machine of a monster's making, this artificial anti-hero will now rise to meet his namesake. Now, all the world will be proven inferior models. Omega has always been a very fun and complex character. He may seem simple, but his complexity comes in how he thinks and manages to find reasons to be both vicious and kind, without conflicting with his ideals and goals in the slightest. He says he does not protect, but he will gladly destroy anything that threatens someone precious to him or his few friends. He will throw down with any warrior on sight for a chance to prove himself, be they hero or villain, but is more than capable of knowing when that internal demand for recognition should be set aside. But one thing that is very consistent is that he absolutely hates that he was built by Ivo Robotnik, and would gladly scrap his own body had he a suitable replacement. And this is where recent developments in the franchise come deeply into play. In the comics, Omega has been destroyed and rebuilt a couple of times, with Tails being his go-to mechanic. But if Tails were to come across a new, more advanced technology for him to be improved with, I don't see Omega passing up the chance to have a new body built from the ground up, by a friend rather than his sworn enemy. Given the developments of Frontiers, I believe we can all see Tails' proficiency with studying and adapting the Ancients' technology on the horizon. It's only a matter of time before he'll be fully capable of reconstructing it himself, or perhaps even improving on it. Should he reach this level of advanced engineering, it's inevitable that Omega will be rebuilt better, faster, stronger, and more adaptable than ever. And so, Omega, an anti-heroic machine named after a symbol meant to represent the Greek gods, becomes the successor of the Titans. It's as though it was always meant to be. For his base body's design, I made sure to make his limbs and joints the same metal as the machines on the Starfall Islands, resulting in a more streamlined but flexible version of Omega. From there, his armor is inspired by the Titans, and packed with his usual weaponry to be deployed at any time, although I made sure his arm cannons are now reminiscent of the barrel of Supreme's gun, and his pauldrons are inspired by Wyvern, while his shin guards are inspired by the Knight. On his back, his usual two thrusters are more akin to Supreme's as well. Seeing as his new body is ancient technology, his processing has become so advanced that he has now achieved full sentience and sapience, advancing beyond simple programming. Before, he would recode himself to act as though he could feel a full range of emotions, as he felt it was the right thing to do. Now, he truly feels it all, and requires no loopholes. But the real kicker is how this Omega adapts to cyberspace teleporting and reconstruction technology. With access to cyberspace and Tails' workshop, where his new body was built, he can now call upon new modular upgrades at will. I drew from the many Guardians of the Starfall Islands as inspiration, and found 4 of them to line up perfectly with Omega's role as an artificial Greek god. The Tower series machines are adapted into Omega's Hephaestus module, named after the god of the forge. With this weapon, he can defend with the spinning mass of blades on his shoulder, fire them off individually through the base of the tower like a cannon, drill into opponents, and thrust it into the ground to forge waves of spikes to terrorize all foes around him. With the functions of the Fortress Guardian, the huge flying one from Chaos Island, Omega dons the Zeus module, allowing him to fly at high speeds and rain laser hellfire down upon his foes with ease. Or worse yet, because of the Fortress's ability to summon rails, well, a railgun is most definitely at his disposal. The Shark Guardian was an obvious choice, allowing Omega to adapt its fin blades, shoulder thrusters, and bladed tail to become either a speedy aquatic menace or a whirling mass of blades in close combat on land by using his Poseidon module. Lastly, the Ghost components become the Hades module. It's the most unassuming of them visually, but not to be underestimated, as it can tether to foes and drain energy from them, grapple objects and enemies at long range to pull them or himself, and produce gravity wells that slow or crush foes with ease. And yet, this is nothing compared to his true potential. Ancient technology, including the Titans, was designed with the Chaos Emeralds in mind. As such, Tails has built 7 ports into his body meant to receive the Chaos Emeralds. This Omega can potentially take on a super form. Personally, I would call it Pallas, after the Titan of War. With a new body, new functions, a refreshed and expanded mind, and a plethora of new modules to enhance himself with, Omega becomes more worthy of his name than ever, and the bane of any foe who crosses his path. This machine has risen to a new level of greatness atop his own mountain of mechanical corpses, and it's only growing taller. Well, that's enough for me for now. Next time, I think we'll be taking a peek into another world for a few minutes. We have an old friend there who I'm burning to rush back to my tablet for. This is the Envoy of Kairos, signing out. Thanks for watching, guys.